All right, hello and welcome. My name is Shauna. This is our intermediate level class, or part 2 if you did the first part with us as well. We've got Diane here moving and grooving. We got Moose being a little mischievous in the background. So hopefully he will cooperate this next time. We are going to be coming up to standing to get started. Do a little bit of a standing cat-cow. We're going to do a little bit of balance work today in the beginning, a little bit of stretching, balance work. And then our first circuit, we're going to jump into some lunging or a stationary stance with some bicep curl options as well. So when you're ready, go ahead and come on up to standing. If you are wearing the bands, we've just added air. So go ahead and make sure you take care of that. As you come to standing, you're going to want to walk your feet in, check in with your toes, with all 10 toes pointing forward. Draw that belly in, send your hips back and bring your arms nice and straight to the bottom of those knees. From here, as you breathe in, you're going to round forward, keeping those hands up on the bottom of the knees or bottom of the thighs, and then breathe out. A nice gentle arch, lifting the head, lowering that belly down. Good. So Sharon, hands on the bottom of the knees. Breathing in, rounding, draw that stomach in. Breathing out, draw the shoulders back and down. Lower that belly button towards the ground. Good. 2 to 3 more times. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. There we go. Twice more. And last time. Good. On that next inhale, push the legs, come on up. And now, as mentioned, we're going to start to move into a little bit of balance practice next. So place the one foot down, draw your stomach up and in, squeeze those shoulders back. And we're going to do our ankle circles first. So circling those ankles around. Woo, woo, woo. Good. Keep that foot up if you can. Turn that ankle the other way. Check in with that upper body. Pull those shoulders down so you have a nice long neck position. Very good. Set that foot down in between sides. Let's circle through those hips. Nice and smooth. Up and around. Good. Be a little smile as we circle those hips. And then we'll start to change directions, taking them around the other way. Fantastic. All righty, walk those feet back in. We do our ankle circles on that second side. So be intentional here. Lift everything on up like you got some imaginary wires pulling you up towards the sky. Coming onto that second leg, circling through that ankle here. Just to keep your hips nice and level. Eyes up. Good. Turn it the other way. Eyes up as in ahead. Looking forward. Very good. And rest it down. Going back to our first leg, now we're going to move into our quad stretch. So coming up, grabbing the foot, pulling that heel towards the glute. Little bend in the knee, draw your stomach in, invite that thigh to kind of push it back. We're going to go another 15 seconds here. Breathing and holding. Very good. And 2, 1, release that side down. We're going to go straight into that second side. Anchor down to that foot. Lift everything up and in, squeeze those shoulders back, and coming onto that second leg, pulling that heel towards the glute. Lottie's making fun out of that 99-cent pink elephant we found at Goodwill. I'm just referring to the dog in the background. 10 more seconds, friends, pulling that heel. He was a little vocal last class, so.
We're happy.
We're happy. We don't want to speak too soon, though. And 2, 1, release that side. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to come into a stagger stance. Those of you that feel really comfortable in your lunges, you can be going down and up. Let me think about this. So we're going to curl in as we lower down. You can also hold this like lunge position and curl from there. So we've got a couple of options there. You can either hold weight to start, or you can simply work as if you're doing that curl without any weight. So we're going to start with your feet hip width apart. Let's take, it's going to be Maya and Diane's right leg stepping forward. Those on screen are mirroring us. It's going to be your left leg. Nice long step forward. Back foot up on that toe. Very good. And then 2, 1, and here we go. Either standing tall and curling or lowering that back knee down and up. Totally up to you. Eyes up and forward. Really key to have that front shin nice and vertical. You don't want to have any pain in the front of that knee. If anything, you want to feel that back thigh. Good. Keep smiling here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Great job. We're going to switch sides. Walk that back foot in, eyes up, and then second leg, long step back. Anchor down to that front heel, looking straight ahead. And 2, 1, here we go. Either standing tall and curling or lowering that knee down as you curl.
At some point, he's going to be napping.
Yes, he will. It's like a child that has to like throw a little fit or just get that extra energy out right before he'll finally rest. He does this at night as well. Very nice. Focus on that front heel as you lower that knee down or as you hold that stationary lunge. Very good. Maybe one more time and rest. Wonderful. From here, let's make our way. We're going to hold a plank on this first one. So you can either go an elevated plank, and we'll start to do a little bit of a push-up action, or you can come onto the ground. Instead of on your forearms, as long as your wrists are comfortable with it, come onto your hands. We're going to go for 30 seconds, starting in 2, 1, and here we go. So as you're holding this plank, I want you to think about doing, we call it a scapular push-up. So it's just a little tiny range of motion where you draw your shoulders back, you lower your chest down just like an inch or 2, holding your belly nice and strong, and then pushing up. Yep. Make sure you don't lose that head forward, Sharon. So chin in, just try to invite your heart to lower down just a bit. Squeeze those glutes. Go ahead, maybe 1 or 2 more. So it's kind of like a little prep work for what's coming up and resting from there. Good job. Coming on down, making your way back up to standing. And next, we're work some full range squats. So you're gonna walk those feet out, draw that stomach in, and then when you're ready, you're gonna reach your arms out, sending your hips back nice and deep, and then all the way up to the top. So down and up. If you did this first session with us, I would say no more than about 5 reps here. If this is your first session and you wanna go a little bit farther into that rep range, you're welcome to it. Good, drawing that belly up and in, knees push wide, drive into the floor, and 2, 1, and rest. Good. Alrighty, let's stretch out those upper bodies, let's stretch out those arms, raise one arm straight up in the air, bend that elbow, reach around, grab that elbow as you pull it back, and now walk your feet a little bit wider if you need, and add that side bend. So our tricep side bend here, opening up through that chest and shoulders. Make sure you keep that chin pulled in. Ah, very good. Release those arms and same thing on the other side. Belly strong. Arm reaches straight up, chin in, bending that elbow, reaching around, keeping that baby bend in the knees, and then long spine as you lean that other way. Over and up. Very good. Fantastic. All right. Once you finish that, let's grab a drink. And then as we get ready for this next round, we're going to do a little bit different sequence. We're going to lunge and curl on the first leg. Then you're going to go to your push-ups. I'm going to show an elevated push-up here to the bench. I'd encourage, unless you've got all the way down, all the way up, to also use an elevated surface. If anything's going on with your shoulders and you can't do a push-up, you can hold a plank. Then we're going to come back up for that second leg. And then you're either going to hold a plank for the second round, which is what I'm going to demo. If anybody wants more of a challenge, you're welcome to do a second set of push-ups. So when you're ready, if you are going to hold some weights for the bicep curls and your lunges, go ahead and pick up some nice light weights. Start on your non-dominant leg. I'm going to guess that maybe for most, it's going to be your left leg. So that's what I'm going to demo, mirroring you. We're going to take a really long step forward with that left leg, keeping your feet hip width apart, squeeze those shoulders back, and 2, 1, here we go. Front heel stays planted, front shin stays vertical. Lowering that back knee down, eyes up and forward, Knees feel okay with that? And now keep your left foot a little bit wider, Diane. So remember how we talked about that tightrope? Yep, we want to keep the feet hip width apart. There you go. Feel a little bit more stable there. Nice, good, Sharon. One more time. And resting there. Walk that back leg in as mentioned. Push-ups next. Set the weights down. Making your way to your elevated surface if you have it. Nice wide handprint. And 2, 1, begin. So draw those elbows back and in, lowering that chest down towards the surface. Eyes looking right between the hands. And we really don't want those hips to sink in. So if anything, keep the hips a little bit higher. But ideally, we want to feel like we're a moving plank here. So your body's like stiff as a board, nice and strong. Squeeze as you drive it out. Couple more times. Down and up. And 2, 1, and rest. Great job. Coming back up to your feet. We're going back to that lunge and curl, this time with your right leg forward. It's okay, Moose. Just another friend. So eyes looking forward. Holding your weights as you choose. Long step forward with that right leg now. Keeping your feet hip width apart. And 2, 1, and when you're ready, remember to anchor down through that front heel. Good control. I know, Moose. If you can, just lightly tap that knee down. Buddy. Control and stand halfway there, friends. Keep moving. Oh, I know. You look like such a nice friend. Good, Diane. That's better. Good length of feet. Almost there. And 2, 1, and everybody rest. Good job. Back to your forearm plank. That's what I recommend unless you really want to do a lot of push-ups. But let's make our way into that plank position. You can either stay up on the hands, or if you want to break on the wrist, come down to the forearms. We're going to hold for 30 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Eyes forward. Squeeze that body. Squeeze the glutes. Pull the belly in. Chin in, eyes down. Good, almost halfway. Nice, good job. Nice straight arms, 10 seconds left. Breathing and holding. Wonderful job. This is the end of round 2. Hips up a little bit, and everybody rest. Great job. If you're down on the ground, feel free to drop back in a child stretch for a moment. Those of you standing up using an elevated surface, walk the feet back and lower the head between the arms. Breathing for a few breaths there. Maybe bend your knees just a little bit more, Diane. Lowering that heart down. Nice, Sharon. A couple of deep breaths into the back of that body. Good. And then when you're ready, let's make our way back up to standing. Grab a drink of water. We've got 30 seconds, and we're going to start our 3rd set of those lunges with the curl. This will be our last time through on this sequence. All righty, eyes up. If you want to hold some weights, bring them right to the side, starting in 10 seconds. Left leg, long step forward, feet hip width apart, and 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Shin nice and vertical, back knee comes down, eyes stay looking forward. Yep. Good. Breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you stand. Push through and away that front foot. Thinking about trying to dig that front heel into the floor. Couple more. Woo! And last one. Fantastic. Walking in between legs. We've got those push-ups. Push-ups. Making your way. Elevated position or down on the floor. Starting in 3, 2, 1. And here we go. So we don't want to wing those elbows wide. Rather, draw those elbows back and in towards the sides. Try to broaden your chest as you lower your body down. And then squeeze the belly, squeeze the lower body as well as you push away. So your body can move like a unit. Heck yeah, there you go. And be one more time. And rest. Nice job. Walk it in, stand it up. We're coming into our final set of lunge and curl. Eyes looking forward, toes pointing forward. It should be, those of you on screen would be your right leg. I'm on my left leg forward. Keeping those feet hip width apart.
I did the opposite.
Yeah, I saw. And 2, 1, begin. Curling in as you lower the knee down, watching that you don't shoot that knee forward. Instead, sitting right into that heel. Strong breathing, super work. Strong, good. Smile. Nice and controlled. Almost there. Woo, a little off balance myself. Final time. And rest. Good job. And then let's make our way back into that final plank. At least our final front plank. We do have some side planks coming up in our last little bit. So coming down to the mat or staying elevated. Going in 3, 2, 1, and begin. So nice flat plank. Eyes looking right between the hands. And now just imagine you want to flex your booty, squeeze the glutes, flex those thighs like you're trying to draw the muscles up away from the top of your kneecaps. And then continue to breathe and lift up right between those shoulder blades. Sometimes you start to lose that head forward. So draw that chin in. We're going to go another 15 seconds here. If you need to rest, by all means. But otherwise, keep breathing and holding. Good. Less than 10 seconds. 2, 1, and done there. Woo! All righty. How'd that feel? Good, good. All right, either from standing or kneeling, go ahead and shake out those arms, swinging them side to side. Excellent job. And now we're going to swing them back and up, push them back behind, raise them up to overhead. Make sure we don't flare those ribs up. So keep the belly down or ribs down, push back, rise up. One more time, back and up and shake it out. All right. So, Diana, if you want to bring your mat, I know it's kind of got pretty sunny over here. We're going to get ready for some side planks next. Feel free to grab a drink. Or if you want to use the elevated surface. Yeah. All right, similar to what we've done 2 weeks ago, you can do an elevated plank. This is what Diane's going to kind of be just elevated here, working that side body. And I'm going to come down to the floor on that elbow. You're going to have upwards of 30 seconds, but your goal for all 4 rounds is to be consistent. So if you feel like you need a little bit of rest, maybe rest at 15, 20, up to you. Pull that elbow in, lengthen the body, and 2, 1, here we go. Try to lift up out of that downside shoulder, eyes looking up and forward. Very good. Nice, Sharon. Reaching straight up. That bottom hip tends to sink down, so keep raising that hip up. That's 20 seconds. And I'm going to rest at 25. We're going to swing it right around, going directly into that second side. Pulling that elbow in, extending the legs, and when you're ready, come back into that second side. Here we go. Eyes forward. That's 10 seconds. 15. I'm going to hold 25 again, but you can rest sooner if you need. That's 20 on the second side. Make sure we don't start to sink down that shoulder. Lift up. 20. And 2, 1 for 25. Good. That's round 1. After the next round, we're going to let the air out of the bands. We're going to get ready for round 2 coming up next. We're going to a little bit of endurance here on our midline, pulling that elbow in, and 2, 1, begin. Round 2, up and hold, eyes forward. If anybody wants a little bit more of a challenge, you can do some rotations, but I'm just going to hold that regular plank this time. We're doing 4 rounds of this. This is round 2. We're 15 seconds in. 20 seconds. And there's that 25. That's my goal. Y'all want to switch it up. Same thing other side. That's 30. Get ready for that second side. And 2, 1, and go. Second side on round 2. We're going to take the air out of the bands. Coming up next. Go, make sure you really lift up out of that downside shoulder, Sharon. Looking strong, Diane. 10 seconds. Starting to get a little bit off on where my clock started at. So forgive me if we're a little bit off on the time. 15 seconds. 20. And 2, 1. There's 25. All right, that's our halfway point. Release the air, or if you want to just take them off real quick. We're going to go 2 more rounds of that side plank, and then we're going to have our cool down stretch. Short and sweet today. All righty, making your way onto your first arm. And now without the bands, I'm going to add a little bit of difficulty with those rotations. Pulling that elbow in, coming up in 2, 1, and here we go. I'm going to look to hold for 30 now. And by the rotations, I just mean that top arm is going to reach underneath that downside shoulder without letting those hips sink down. Good. Breathing in, breathing out. That's 15 seconds. 20. Woo. 25. And 2, 1, there's 30. Good, we're gonna take 10 seconds to switch sides, and we'll be on round 3 of that second arm. Set that elbow or set that hand, and here we go. Good, so if you were doing those rotations on that first side, make sure you try to keep it even on the second side. First 10 seconds done. 15. 20. Awesome. 25 seconds. 2, 1. There's our 30. Good. We're going to take a 20-second break. Shake out those arms. And then we'll come into our 4th and final round of our side plank. Starting in 10. All righty. Set that arm. Stack it right underneath that shoulder. Sometimes people get too wide and it puts that strain on that elbow and shoulder. And final time. Here we go. Chin in, eyes up. Either that static hold, or you're welcome to keep those rotations if you want. 10 seconds done. I'm just going to hold this traditional plank. There's 15 seconds. You need to lift up, not letting anything drop. 20 seconds. 25, 27, 28, 9, and 30. Good. We'll take 10 seconds, and then we'll be into our 4th and final time on your second arm. Woo! 2, 1, and let's knock it out. Ah, almost done. Side planks are so great for our stability of our spine. 10 seconds done. So it's not one of the more exciting things that we do, but it has really strong benefit. 15 seconds. Keep that chin in, eyes up. That's 20. Breathing and holding. 25. We're almost there. 2, 1, and everybody done. Woo! Nice job. Let's return to our feet for the start of our cool down stretch. Oh, Mr. Moose. Let's have a trash bin nearby.
How does it help your spine?
So how does it help our spine? What a good question. So that plank, it's like, I like to imagine like when you imagine like a building up in the sky and they have those like support wires to like hold down like those big like bridges and cranes and stuff. I'm not like an architect, obviously, but those, you can imagine like our little oblique muscles and all these smaller muscles of our abs, they attach the bones of our spine, and that's what gives our spine that structural support. So when we go to like pick up laundry baskets, reach for grocery bags, have to pick up our animals or our kids, that it just helps to hold everything nice and strong, that you don't have a lot of laxity in your spinal column. They did some tests on individuals that had chronic back pain. And after, they did different rehab tests and they built up that endurance, their little target number was a 90-second side plank on each side as like a maximal effort, where you build that ability to be able to hold that side plank. And then after we work those side planks, we want to stretch that side body. So after we do those tree branch arms, one hand on the hip, one hand comes up to overhead and peer up to that hand. And then side stretches are really good for our low back as well, because our body is all interconnected. We have those muscles that connect into one another through the fascia. Go ahead and switch sides. And you can imagine your fascia like saran wrap that overlaps all the muscles, and then they connect into one another. That fascia touches the fascia oftentimes of other muscles. One more time, back to the first side. Your blood vessels, your nerves, your arteries, they wind through that fascia as well. Sometimes they get stuck along their path. So that's why mobility work, breathing, moving, stretching, body work as well from professionals is really beneficial to keep it all going. Good. Behind the back stretch next, everybody. Walk those feet nice and wide. Draw that stomach in, draw those ribs down, anchor down to those legs as you interlace those hands behind you. Send those hips back, draw those arms straight up and over. And now nice deep breath, breathe into the back of the body. Try to let your head be a little heavy here. When you're ready, come back up. Very good. Keep your feet nice and wide. Bring those arms back to overhead. And we're going to do our hourglass, or no, snow globe toe touches. Hourglass, a little bit different. We're tracing around. Imagine you're in a nice, beautiful little snow globe. Maybe you've got the animal stuffing out of the pink elephant floating around you. Bad joke. Have to have the context of the empty pink elephant that's over here on the dirt now next to our dog. 2 to 3 times the other way, nice and long, over and up. Fantastic. Last time. Very good. And then similar to how we started, we're going to walk those feet back in and return to that quad stretch. So feel free to balance or feel free to support yourself. Anchor that foot down, draw it all up and in, grabbing onto that foot. Whoop, whoop. Draw the ribs in, pull the heel back. Fantastic. Anybody wants an extra challenge at this point in the hour, you can bow forward, keeping that little bend in the knee as your chest comes forward. Make sure that back thigh drives up. Find a target straight ahead to focus on. Breathing a couple more times here. And release from there. Very good. In between sides, just a little circle of those hips. Loosen it all back up. Good. Trace the hips the other way. And then we'll get ready for that quad stretch on that second side. Anchor that heel down. Lift on up. Squeeze those shoulders back. Grabbing that foot. Staying tall. And then as you choose, if you want to bow forward, really keep that back thigh to drive up. Eyes up and forward. Reach that arm out. Fantastic. Oops. Hold and strong. And 3, 2, 1, and shake it out. Very good. We're going to end with our figure 4 stretch and a little bit of loosening up through the neck. So you can either sit on the bench or I'm going to sit on down on the ground. Do a seated figure 4 from the ground. I like it here. I'm going to open up the shoulders at the same time, and then Diane's going to show it from the chair. So pick a leg. You're going to cross it over the opposite thigh. If you're on the ground like I am, I'm going to inch this foot up and in. And then the foot that's crossed over the opposite thigh, instead of just letting this ankle be kind of lax here, engage that foot and ankle, draw the toes back towards that knee. And then sitting tall, go ahead and breathe. Draw the chin in, close those eyes. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. And ideally, breathing nice and deep into the belly. Good. When you're ready, go to release that side, and then we'll go the same thing on that opposite side. Cross the foot over, inch that foot up or sitting up tall. Good. Remember to engage the ankle, drawing the foot and toes back towards that knee. Whew. Side's a little stiff for me. Nice deep breath. 10 more seconds. Lengthen that head and neck. Stay broad through that chest. And release on this side. Fantastic. All right, you can either stay seated in the chair or on the ground. We're just gonna loosen up a little bit through that head and neck. Sometimes after those side planks, you get a little stiff through those shoulders. So just start with some reverse shoulder circles, up and back and down. Some good movement through that chest and rib cage. Fantastic. Good. And now we're gonna sit tall to start. Go ahead and bow the head down so you lower the chin towards the chest. You should feel a nice gentle stretch along the back of the neck. And then raise the head back up. As you go to look up, if you're comfortable to do so, cross your hands right underneath your collarbones. You can give a little downward pressure of the skin and then gently tilt the head up, looking up towards the sky. Go ahead and release. We're gonna do that one more time. This time, as you look down, if you'd like to take literally your fingertips, imagine that you're trying to just place a quarter on the top of your head so you barely have any tension in it at all, but just helping to give a little bit more lengthening for the back of the neck. And release. Good job. Option to draw the skin down, hands under the collarbones, chin in, and then raise the head up. And release from there. Good. And then we'll finish with some rotation. So looking straight ahead to start. And then we're going to turn the head, look over one shoulder, take one or two finger on the cheekbone. So not over on your jaw, but right up on the cheekbone. And then you can encourage just a little bit of overpressure. At the same time, you can draw the shoulder back and down on the side that you're looking towards. Couple of breaths there. And release. Same thing on the other side. So I can draw the shoulder back and down, turn the head, one or two fingers on the cheekbone. Use your eyes. Look as far over that shoulder as you can. See the kids spin around on that playground. And release. Good. We're going to go one more time each way with that rotation. So turning the head and neck. This time I'm going to turn my palm up on the side that I'm turning towards. Drawing that shoulder down. Helps me to lengthen through that trap on that side just a little bit. And release. And then final time. So palm up, shoulder down, turn that head and neck, that second side. Gentle overpressure. Fantastic. All right, everyone, go ahead and bring your hands together in front of your heart. 3 final breaths. We're going to breathe in. Raise up, elevate up, and breathe out. Broaden through this chest. Circle them down nice and slow. Good job. Twice more. In through the nose, nice deep cleansing breath. Release all the stress and tension. Very good. And then this last breath, we're going to breathe in some peace and love for ourselves. And we'll send it all out, radiate out to the world. Use your energy to bring about some positive hope for yourself and for others. All right, everybody, keep drinking your water, stay hydrated, stay happy, and we'll move with you next time.